Hey everyone, and welcome back to Edge of Legends. So excited for episode 52, my favorite number in the whole wide world. And today we are going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to start off with introductions from everyone, starting with Mr. Michael Powell. Tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Well, as always, I am the dastardly, dashing Michael Powell, and I play the fabulous Rufa. And our pronouns are he, him, they, them, and Rufa is, I believe, a human investigator.
All right. Next up, Kylie, please tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hi, I'm Kylie, or I go by Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. I go by, I already said what I go by. Wow, 1 week off and I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I play Shandavis, the Elven Ranger, and we both go by she, her.
Excellent. Awesome possum. Sam, please tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hello, I'm Sam Sterling, and I play Ichipukton Papakui, and our pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And last but not least, Sidney, tell them who play, what pronoun.
Hello, I am Sidney Rubino. My pronoun she, her, and I play Alona, half of Cloistered Cleric. Yay.
Yay. For everyone watching, Ian will not be able to join us tonight, but we should hopefully see him next week. And we love him, miss him as always. And that being said, my name is PJ. I am the GM for Edge of Legend and Nat 20 Productions. My pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing everyone and everything in between. And we're going to do a quick recap for those who haven't seen Sam's amazing recap of episode 51, and then we'll get right into it. So last time was the last episode for the Ichi side quest happening in South Azmakon. It was the final day of the 3-day tournament of Lucha Excellence, and it was all down for the championship belt. A gigantic 9 Hells in a Cell match, built like an upside down pyramid, and 2 sides are going to war while Ichi and Elazul Kukui were just throwing each other through rings upon rings of pain. Towards the end, the evil madness that was starting to seep out and almost take over the entire arena was eventually vanquished, due in part to Ichi's strong metal and the guardian of the temple grabbing the madness and throwing it to the abyss. Ichi won the title and got the first relic in the game, the belt of her family. And of course, everyone will be getting sweet gear and awesome relics as things continue. And with that, a quick trip to Isuo's house puts the heroes smack dab right in the capital of Adolphon Prime, the Adolphon continent. So today is going to probably be a lot of role play, a lot of problem solving. In fact, there's about 2 mysteries that you might be able to solve as well. Let's see what you guys do. We're starting to kick things back off live in Isuo's house, just inside Adolphon Prime. Now, I don't know if you guys saw in the list, you guys have a lot of magical items and equipment. If you want to do any melding with the ones you have currently, now is a great time to do some shopping, get some magical weapons made with Isuo's help, as well as some other events.
Okay. I don't have any magical items. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to the rest of y'all with your electric chairs and whatnot and your fancy. I just remember the chair. That's all I get. That's all I remember. And Ian's not here.
Well, I do recall. I think I can say this on the GM. I do recall you did get Slamantha's boots.
Shit! I did get Slamantha's boots. Oh my god! I immediately show Isuo the boots. Look at these.
Isuo looks at those and immediately just sees the magic is rippling off them, and they say, I think you should try these on. I think they would be perfect for you.
I'm immediately going to try them on.
Okay, you put them on. You suddenly feel lighter. You know how Slamantha was talking about it's all in the hips. You suddenly feel this amazing rhythm. While wearing these boots, you get +2 to performance checks and acrobatics checks, as well as a fun. Oh, you also get 5 feet of movement, plus 5 feet of movement. And last but not least, Eastwood looks to you and they say, "Please, click your heels together."
Ilona clicks her heels together.
All right, one action, interact action. You click your heels together. Suddenly, you're like 3 inches taller as holy divine rollerblade wheels pop up under your feet. If you move at least one stride action after these things are activated, you can then basically do a drop kick, doing 3d6 damage and knocking the person back, or doing 66 damage and doing more knockback on a crit. The specific details are in the group chat. Also, while the wheels are out, you don't take any penalties for difficult terrain because you just glide right on by.
This is the most OP item I've ever seen.
Oh, just wait till you read about the chair.
So Alona's a derby girl now, is what you're telling me.
Alona's
Yes!
definitely a derby girl.
Yes!
Slamantha was actually not only a dancer, but she herself used to be a derby girl. So that's why the boots are what they are.
But do they match her wraps though?
There is a sort of like pink patented leather on these boots that once you lace them up, you see them kind of color change to a nice deep crimson red.
Wait, they're chameleon shoes, so they match my costume. Damn, I love it. Okay, sweet. Wow, why is this the best thing ever? Lona's just gonna start like skating around Isamo's house. Just like doing like little turns and trying not to fall on things as she like gets her bearings.
They are chuckling with a genuine parental delight seeing you like on Christmas morning with your rollerblades.
It's great. It's so good.
One little thing for your notes, though, after you do the drop kick maneuver, you have to roll to hit. It is considered an unarmed weapon in the brawling category, and you have proficiency with it automatically.
Yes.
Roll to hit like you normally would. Yeah, so if you hit, it does 3d6 damage and knocks them back, I want to say 15 feet. Actually, no, let me check the rules on that. I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. But once you do the drop kick maneuver, it takes another day for those wheels to come back and for you to do that ability.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Oh, so good. Oh, the best. This is wow. I'm so glad that these are all the great things. But here's my favorite part are all the names in the chat. Ruth Alona Rollerberg. I'm gonna do it. We should talk about this in our Discord.
I like
Rolona.
Rolona.
Ah!
Nice. Yes, please go to our Discord and come up with Alona's new roller derby name. That's because Slamantha got her name originally from roller derby, and then it was just a perfect transition into Lucha. By the way, I should say the boots are called the Slam Dance boots.
Slam dance boots. I love this so much.
And to confirm, it is 15 feet away on a regular hit. It is 30 feet knockback on a crit.
Sweet. Wow.
And if you all may have forgotten, you have a +1 hide armor, a +1 siege axe that Takado Ice used to use, and now it's in your possession. So if you want a big axe, you can use that. You also have, I want to say, combined 4 striking runes that you can basically put into a +1 weapon and then get an additional die of damage.
Ichi looks around and says, does anyone else want this axe? Axe me now.
I think that's all
Good
you.
one.
I'm fine with my my whip.
Yeah, I think you're the only one that can actually like hold it. So
Ichi looks at it, lifts it up. It's got a 10-foot reach.
So yes, the stats on the +1 siege axe that Takado Eyes uses are as follows. It's a 1d10 slashing damage with a deadly 1d10, jousting 1d6, reach of 10 feet, requires 2 hands to use, and has a clumsy 1 trait, which means using this will also knock off about like 10 feet of movement because it's so heavy and awkward.
I see. All right. I'm just gonna put that in my pocket. Not really, but you know.
Issa kind of looks at you and they say, "You're starting to collect a lot of big weapons.
Yeah.
Would you like some consolidation?"
What?
Consolidation?
So consolidation is a word which means I can have all the weapons.
In one, yes. It just seems to me that unless you have a caddy carrying these massive weapons, you're gonna have some issues eventually.
You can help with that?
Of course, I'd be happy
Yeah.
to.
Yes, please.
They laugh and chuckle delightfully. They take your maul, your retribution axe, and your new siege axe. They place them down next to each other, and they just kind of like take their hands together, and you see them kind of moving their hands over until their hands block out the weapons, and then just kind of, and when they bring their hands back up, all of them are now molded into one massive weapon. The head of the axe has kind of like a blunt, almost diamond shaped. So you looks like it almost kind of looks like the temple steeps back home. This weapon is now a basically a +1 siege axe of retribution. It comes with both slashing and bludgeoning damage. And I believe you can start putting runes in that bad boy if you want to do more bonuses.
Ichi looks at Isuo and is like, you're really great. Has anyone ever told you that?
They just kind of smile and they say, "It's always a pleasure to hear it." And out of character, if you want a striking rune put in that bad boy, let me know.
I do. I don't know what that is, but I do.
They take one of the 4 striking runes that you have, and they just kind of start rubbing it. And so you see this golden light start to build in their hands, and they wave it over this massive axe. And they do that and then sprinkle it a bit, and you see the weapon kind of glow and shine. And then almost like the light is hardening into a lacquer, it takes a hold on it. You now have a +1 striking siege axe of retribution. This does all the stats of the axe, so it's 1d10 plus 1d10 deadly plus 1d6 jousting plus a reach of 10 feet, and it now does 2d10 damage a swing. So it's 2d10 plus deadly 1d10 plus jousting 1d6 plus retribution plus 1 to hit.
Beautiful. Ichi reaches in her pocket and searches around for an inordinate amount of time. She pulls out a crumpled piece of paper and she sets it down, and like flattens it out the best she can, then hands it to Isuo. This is a Bun Boys coupon. Ask for the Ichi special.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them I sent you.
Only because it's you. And they take it, and they were like, they look at it like when a kid gives like a picture to put on the fridge to their parent. They're like, this is great. They fold it up nice and neat. They stick it in their pocket. The weapon, I should say, still has clumsy 1 because it's still this gigantic weapon. So yeah, have fun with all that insane damage. Kylie, Eastwood looks to you. That bow, it can also. He takes one. They take one of the striking runes. It could also benefit from one of these, couldn't it?
I mean, yeah, I wasn't sure if I could have another rune given I already have one. So
Of course. Of course. I have my ways. They take the bow. May I take your bow?
Yeah, of course, of course.
They start rubbing their hands on the striking rune until this stone tablet in their hand kind of melts into this gossamer golden light. And they just start rubbing it down the shaft of the bow, like they're trying to like grease it up a bit so it can fire a little better. And again, when the golden light hardens, you now have a striking feature to your bow, which means it now does 1 extra dice damage when you fire. I love that excitement. There are 4 of these runes in total, meaning anyone that has a melee weapon, or in this case, a ranged melee weapon as well, that would like to have it, Isuo can absolutely add this to your weapon, even non-lethal gloves of boxing. So if you want that, please let me know, and we will go through that.
Ilona wheels over to Isuo and holds out her fist like, me?
They take the rune and they again just start rubbing in their hands, and then they start doing this like they're about ready to like give you a hand massage. They put their hands on your knuckles and start giving you a rub on your joints, and they're just giving this pep talk like you're gonna float like a butterfly, you're gonna sting like a bee, no one's gonna see it coming, you're gonna be impossible to beat, like you're fast on your feet and you're fleet on your mind, you have this, you're gonna become a champion in no time. And they're just hyping you up, giving you this pep talk. And then when they're done, they grab you by the wrist and just start slapping those knuckles down and testing it. All right, champ. Sometimes being a pacifist means passing a fist. So good luck out there.
Thanks. Ilona looks at her new like things and she just goes rolling around again and just like punching the sky. It's a good day.
It's a good day. So, and Nasaya hand wraps of Heavenly Peace, I believe, do 2d8 damage instead of 1d8 damage, and it is all non-lethal. So you go ahead and start knocking people out.
I'm gonna hit some people.
The cleric has now become the monk. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Now we just have to teach them flurry of blows. Or it could be flurry of bows. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, punch. I'm so sorry, punch. I'm so sorry, punch.
Last but not least, Rufa, do you want that striking rune put into your whip?
Sure. I already have a +1 potency, so.
Yep. The +1. Yeah. Well, so +1 potency means you have a +1 to hit.
Yeah.
In order to get the striking rune put into the weapon, it has to be a +1 weapon already. Mm-hmm. I believe everyone's here is a +1. If not, I'm just going to hand wave and say, because it's about this time you should have a +1 weapon. So this will work. All it will do is just give you an extra weapon dice. Or no, I'm sorry, an extra weapon die, which, oh no, more damage.
So it's extra damage die as in +1 to damage, or now from 1d4 to 2d4?
2d4.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Rufa brings out his shifting scorpion whip. What is since everybody is getting their new shiny on? I guess Rufa will too.
Okay, yeah. They take your whip, they kind of like, stretch out so it's nice and taut and straight, and then they get that rune and they just kind of like, coat it down, and then after a bit they kind of test it. You see some of the ground in their own house just break and shatter. Nice. Should have done that. But now we know it works. And they hand you your +1 striking whip of shifting.
Thank you very much, Rufa. Thanks you. And yes, and if we do have some extra time, if perhaps Rufa could what is the word? Restock their art supplies.
Of course. Give us a list and we'll be very happy to put that together.
Yes. Rufa shows him the list. It's basically restocking the alchemist fires that's been used, those talisman that when you fall, you get the slow fall thing.
Sure. They do say, because they give you basically a bunch of magic enchantments for free, that if you want talismans and specific magic items that will cost gold, it will be the same price in the book. You guys, I think you just earned like 12,000 gold, so you're good on money.
Yeah. Rufa has no problem paying, and he actually also asks, also if you have perhaps these items too, and he quickly jots them down, which is one of them is a level 2 bag of holding, and the other one, I believe, where is it? I have it up. It is a first level. Wait, do I need a special ability to use a magic wand as an investigator?
I'm going to say no for now.
Okay, so a first level magic wand.
With a specific spell put into it, or just a first level magic wand?
Yes. Do you mind if I won't use it this game? Give me some time to actually look it up. Look up the
Sure.
level 1 spells.
I'll tell you what. Remove the money for the costs of all those items and components, and of course, Isua looks at you and goes, "I have everything." They look at you and say, "I have everything."
Very much. Thank you very much. It is good. It will be used. It'll be used towards our further journey.
I should hope so. Kylie, do you have a question?
Yes. So the gold we got from Asmacon hasn't been split up between us, right?
Not yet, to my knowledge.
Okay, so it's the 8,000 and 4,600.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And it was just us 5, correct?
Yeah, it was just the main party. I mean, Morel and Tobias were there, but that's because they were kind of like leftovers from the Godlands.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm doing math right.
For sure.
Does Isoo have any headbands?
They absolutely do. They look to you and they say, "What you have in mind?"
I was half joking.
Oh.
Something to absorb my sweat, and maybe some knee pads if I fall.
They smile and they say, "This will go definitely from your pockets, but I think I have just the thing for you." So they go and they open up this, like, it kind of looks like this massive stone locker. They open the door and they pull out these really puffy knee pads that the minute they push it kind of moves like a Rorschach mask. And it's got these kind of like these really cool runes on it. And they hand those to you. And then they take a headband, like one of those headbands. It's got a little bit of a tie off in the back. And on the center is this really unusual symbol. And they put that down. They slide it over. And they say, "We'll call the whole thing square at 1,500 gold."
What does it mean, though?
They look at you. "You should put it on. Put it on."
Ilona puts on the headband and slides on the knee pads and waits for something to happen.
So you put on the headband, you tie it off. You suddenly feel this enlightenment as like any fatigue is gone and your brain just starts working faster. You get a +2 check to any recall knowledge check that you have proficiency in, as well as a +1 bonus to your wisdom stat, as you have the headband of lesser enlightenment.
What?
And the knee pads, they instruct you, like, go ahead, like, drop to your knees and see what happens.
I will. She does do that.
So you drop to your knees and you just kind of stop in time and space and kind of slowly rise back up to your feet. You have the knee braces of Catfall. Right now, in this iteration, the lesser version, this basically functions as like it takes off half your fall damage. Eventually, if you get the greater one, it'll act like a monk, but that's like a level 17 item down the way.
Yeah. Half fall damage, still good fall damage. I mean, wow. Ilona just looks, oh my God. She just like looks around and be like, I don't know how much gold I have. Oh crap. Look to gold. I have gold. I think.
You just got 2,520 gold.
I did.
That's everyone.
Right.
Not including Tobias and Morel.
Morel will absolutely give all that back to you. And Tobias says he is bound by the law and charter of the Platinum Hammer to not take money for services. So he has to give it back too.
Because they weren't divided into that anyway. So I wasn't going to give them any.
I love that.
Perfect.
PJ, actually, I'm going to take a suggestion from chat. Instead of the bag of holding level 2, I'm going to get the knapsack of halfling kind.
Ooh, that one is so good though. Okay, if you can afford it with your money, you can absolutely buy it.
Oh, definitely.
Sure.
Oh, I love the fact that it's built for chefs.
It's amazing. It's great for travel. There's different halfling kinds. I think there's a lesser and a greater. Which one are you taking?
Oh, I'm taking the lesser.
Okay, yeah. If you can afford it, it's yours. And of course, Isuo's got it. The dude's got everything. So, also, this is a perfect time to say it. In honor of Isuo, happy non-binary day, everyone.
Yay!
Yeah. So yeah. Happy non-binary day. Isuo says, keep being who you are no matter what the pronouns say. So yeah, they're giving out the items. They take your money for the stuff that, they're not melding together. This is a great time to go shopping. You guys have some gold in your pocket. Is there any other items that you know right now that you want?
Nope.
Actually, wait. You know what? I am going to get the greater, actually, because I do have the money. I just realized I do have that money.
Yeah. Okay. If you have the money and you can afford it, go ahead, buy it, because the greater is going to be awesome for you guys traveling.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go with the greater.
Okay.
But I forgot we on top of Rufus winning, he also gets his share of the overall loot.
All right. Yeah. And it's such a good bag. So now, Isuo bids you farewell, and they tell you, it's been a long time since you've been in the city. I recommend taking a look around and kind of catching up with what's happening. I can't tell you where to go next or what the right choice is, but have a good day. Welcome back to Adolfon Prime, and if you need anything, the symbol outside the door.
As they walk out the door, Ichi says, "No, you have a good day." As she pets her giant weapon.
They look at you and they say, "I always have a good day."
Y'all, today was like Christmas. Today is Christmas for everybody. Everybody gets Crimbus. Oh man!
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, and if you guys don't have the stats for the other weapons, the Dragon Scale Shield and the most electrifying chair in sports entertainment, let me know and I can read those for you.
I think it would be good for Ian to discover those on his own.
Okay.
Discover them, and I just want to see his reaction.
I kind of want to too, just to see what happens when he jumps off that chair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you are back in Adolfon Prime. As you leave, you see that actually a good point. You see that Adolfon Prime looks a little different than you remember, except Ichi, who, if I recall correctly, as I'm looking at all the secret chat behind the green screen here, the green curtain here, Ichi's character has never been to Adolfon Prime.
Nope.
So Ichi walks out of Isuo's door, petting her weapon, and then she looks up and she's like, where are we?
Ilona starts, well, this is the biggest city in Adolfon. It's Adolfon Prime. There's lots of cool things here, like the Righteous Mile and the Everly Grace Tavern, and there's a Bun Boy shop.
Oh, good. All right, we're fine.
Ilona just starts skating.
Love it.
Around.
Yeah, you get a +5 to your speed, and you don't take any penalties for difficult terrain. You just glide and have a good time.
Oh, I'm loving. Were you gonna say something, Kylie?
And I was going to say the Temple of Kioma.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Temple of Kioma is here too. There's lots of fun places
There's a
around.
lot of fun places.
Okay. Over here. Oh. I actually have something I have to do. And Alona's like, I'll catch up with you guys later. She skates away.
All right. I will follow that thread first. Alona, where are you going?
The Righteous Mile.
All right. Okay, so we have Alona going to the Righteous Mile. I'm going to put a quick note there. Does anyone else have anywhere else they specifically want to go, or do you kind of want to take a look around the city first and be reacquainted with everything?
Go ahead, Michael.
Rufa's gonna look over to Itchy and go, Rufa has some businesses that he's planning on looking at taking care of. You and you also friend Chonabas are welcome to join him if you wish, or we can meet back at another predetermined place.
I gotta meet with an avatar, so I'm gonna make my way
Downtown.
to the Temple of Kioma.
Making our way downtown.
Nice.
Walking fast, looking stressed.
Yeah.
I'll go with you, Rufa. I mean, honestly, all I'm looking for is a Bun Boys, but maybe that's where we can all meet at after we're done.
That does sound good. That sounds good. Does that sound good to you, friend Jonabas?
Yeah, that's totally fine. I can meet you guys there whenever I'm done.
All right. We'll see you there then. And guess Rufa goes off with Itchy to business.
Okay. For my notes, just so I know what I'm doing, can you tell me what business is, quote unquote?
We're gonna look at some real estate.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Buying
business,
more.
PJ.
Business.
Rufa
None
buying
of
real
your
estate.
magical avatar business. Real business. No, just kidding.
Real business.
Okay. Let's go with Alona first. So Alona, you make your way to the Righteous Mile. What do you wish to do in the Righteous Mile?
I'm searching for a shrine to Vigilmont.
All right. Give me a perception check.
25.
25. It takes you a while, but you are able to eventually find a shrine, and you see there is just it looks like it's a shrine to Azamat, but the more you look at it, you see there's just a ton of other dragons, and it's this kind of greater shrine to as many dragon gods as whoever made this shrine could fathom at the time. And you do see there is a pedestal to Vigilmont.
Okay. Alona is going to get down in not her traditional prayer position for Afra, but a general just kneeling, very respectful, general world prayer position.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to start speaking to the statue. Vigilmont, this is the first time that I've attempted to talk to you, but I have a feeling you might be able to help the world at large at the moment. There is an avatar that exists that is able to see through the curtain of time. You, being a dragon god, I believe you might be able to help us with your specific area of expertise in this moment. If you feel like this is part of your business and you believe that you can help us, please let me know. Love, Alona.
Love Alona. Give me a religion check.
Hero point.
Oh wow. First roll of the game.
First, well, yep. 21.
All right. So you're saying this prayer. It is at this time that you see a gentleman kind of coming from the back of the statue and is kind of polishing the statue of Vigilmont specifically. You notice they have this heavy wrapping around their eyes, and they have what appears to be this very sleek, light armor, kind of reinforced by very baggy but movable clothes, very vibrant and flexible clothing. They have pants kind of cinched up to the knee, and they have kind of steel boots that go up midway the calf. They have these really cool hand wraps that end in gauntlets around the hand, and these two golden sticks kind of crossed on their back, and two golden gauntlets kind of are two golden bracers kind of on top of the hand wraps into the gauntlets.
Mm.
And they're just doing this, and then they kind of perk an ear up and they go, oh, why, hello there. And you see this really handsome kind of groomed mustache over their upper lip, and this great big smile that kind of beams from the blindfold that they look at you with. But you can tell they're not quite looking at you. They're kind of looking in your general direction.
Hello. What's your name? Mine is Alona.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being very rude. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the champion of Vigilmont. I don't often come to Adelphon, but you know, when you're here, you might as well check in on the statues here and now, you know, every now and then.
You're a champion. That's
Yes.
that's perfect. That's wonderful. Then you might be able to help me. I have no idea how to contact your god. But since you're a champion of them, of course you would have way more information on that. The world needs their help. There is an individual that's an avatar of another god who has possessed the ability to see through time and space. Since we're all aware that time is not linear, we know that they are able to see possible futures, but not exact outcomes. We need a way to make sure that they are not able to see us coming. We need a blind spot. We already have these. And she holds on to her necklace. We already have charms that will help us individually. But that's it. The rest of the world is still in danger.
This champion smiles and kind of bends a little bit as he's listening. You see him kind of favoring that one ear so he can listen. And his mustache just kind of grows a little bit as he's smiling. And he continues to say, yes. Well, I understand the blind aspect pretty well. And he moves the blindfold and he looks at you, and you see his eyes look like the night sky. They're pitch black, and they just look like they just go on for infinity. And just staring in them, you get lost.
Oh. That's beautiful. Right. Yes. So yes, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Lona freezes up and she doesn't know what to do. Yes. So you have the eyes of your god, and that is a wonderful and beautiful thing. And they're very pretty. And how long have you had that for? Were you born a champion, or did you become a champion?
That's a very good question. I think I could say that I wasn't born a champion, but in time, I was gifted with this sight. So I guess you could say I was born for it, but not born into it.
So if you have the eyes of your god, do you have a similar power to that of the person that I'm talking about? And if so, do you know of the person that I'm talking about?
I think so. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about this war and this orc that's doing it. I'm familiar, yes. No, my sight works a little differently, though. I see all things happening right now, around me, in the moment.
You can see everything. You can see things happening in Asmacon right now?
Everywhere. Well, usually it's easier to focus if it's around me, but generally speaking, is I could see everything happening in space, only in the now.
How is that not incredibly overwhelming?
Well, you get used to it. It takes a lot of time and meditation, and I'm not perfect. Sometimes it does make my days a little harder than some, but there's always a day after.
Interesting.
But as to
That's
your
a really-
question,
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. I didn't answer your question about this orc. I don't think we can do anything about his ability to potentially see what's going to happen, but I think we can definitely stop his ability to see what's happening.
Oh. How?
Well, first, we have to get him here. And then he stops and goes, he's close, but he's not here yet. But when we get him here, then we can basically overwhelm his senses. I'm sure he's very keen at fighting with his eyes closed, but that doesn't mean he's perfect at it yet.
Okay. I think we could do that.
Hmm.
Once we get him here, would you take the lead on that? Or how would we overwhelm his senses?
I probably could. I don't know if I'll be here when he's here. If I can help, I will. In the meantime, the dragons tend to work indirectly. So if you need Vigimat enough, I'm sure myself or someone else will come and we'll make sure it happens.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, I gotta go. There's a lot of things happening, and also I gotta clean a bit more statues. But I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, and if you need me, you can everyone just calls me Joe. And that's just fine with me. So I'll see you then.
Okay. Bye, Joe. Joe! Joe!
You're gonna stress him out.
Yeah.
Nothing's
For
wrong,
real, I
Joe.
was
Don't
thinking
worry.
that.
Don't worry,
Nothing's
Joe.
wrong.
Nothing's wrong.
Nothing's
Oh.
wrong.
He just put a giant smiley face and a haha in the chat. Yeah, we've been wanting to put Joe in the game for a while because all the amazing work he does. So in the world, there's a paladin, a Vigilmot named Joe. Based on Joe, Joe said those are all the things he wanted to be. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to see Joe's NPC kick butt in action soon.
That's so cool, Joe.
Cool. That is freaking cool.
Ilona, after that, so Joe leaves to go do awesome stuff elsewhere, and he's just gonna heart emoji. Love you, Joe, so much, buddy. You see three things of interest, just kind of looking around. Of course, there's a lot of people praying and shuffling. They look extremely twitchy, anxious, scared. You see Morel, of course, praying to Afra and doing it in the way that you do it, and he's trying to do it. And speaking as a beefy boy, I can tell you this posture is very hard to do.
It can be separated.
Separated? Okay.
Yeah.
He will go with that instruction and he's going to leave it separated as he prays to Afra. Tobias is praying to Minerva, as is his wont. But then you see kind of this older looking gentleman, and you can tell by his clothes that he looks like he's an official senator or at least a senatari of some sort. And he looks familiar, and he keeps eyeballing you awkwardly.
Perception check to see if I recognize this guy.
All right.
Is this the little bird? Is this the first bird? That's a 27.
You recognize Lofen Sempris.
That little turd.
And you recognize that he is being quite awkward about seeing you in the Righteous Mile. And from there, we are going to jump over to Shionibus at Shioma's temple.
Alona, if you don't beat this guy,
I got you. I'll get him. I'll get him.
I hate this man so much. Okay.
Really quick, give me a perception check, Shionibus, on your way to Kiyoma's temple.
I'm gonna do the same thing that Sidney did and use a hero point.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
That was a 2, which makes it a 12, which isn't bad, but let's see if we can do better.
Okay, let's see if we can do better.
24.
25. Oh, we definitely did better.
Way better.
So, as you are on your way to Kyoma's temple, you see a bunch of broad-shouldered, very familiar men and women wearing fur coats and carrying massive shields and very aggressive-looking weapons. And they're kind of looking around with this angry, just kind of stare, like they're doing a quick perimeter search. You then see the unmistakable bright white fur and lion's mane of a certain elf that you know all too well. And next to her, you see a man who looks like he is too angry to die, wearing the only one tunic that you've ever seen him have, and strapped to his back is that the only weapon he ever wields. You see Lyrian Voss and Bowen Rioneg with a guard detail walking around town having a brunch.
He brought his mom to your date. He brought his mom.
I want to do a quick skirt down an alley so he doesn't see me and have a mild panic attack.
All right, give me a stealth check against his perception DC.
Oh no. Okay.
No, what is it? Kylie.
I think I'm hiding. You know the kids that will like do hide and seek and will hide behind a tree and it's like half their body is still seen? I rolled a nat 1.
Oh no, and you already used your hero point.
I already used my hero point.
So you're trying to play it cool. You hear in Elven, Larian says, I think I need to go. Mother, if you could just take the guards and do something, I'll meet you back at the boat. And then hold up. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, as you're there hiding, you feel this large, intense, warm presence behind you, and you've this familiar gruff voice going, hello.
Hey. Didn't know you'd be in town so soon.
It's been a while since we last talked. Yeah, I am here with my mother. We're trying to make it work. We're having brunch or some nonsense. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
When did you get back in town?
Maybe like a week ago, half a week ago. I don't know.
Nice. We just got back in town. We've been in Asmacon for days, weeks. I don't really know anymore.
Yeah. Time. It doesn't even exist. What is it?
Right?
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to?
Well, thanks to your little friend, a bunch of people are going to my secret fortress in the middle of the ocean. I am now giving asylum to potentially an orc war criminal admiral. Don't get me wrong, she's tremendous and she drinks me under the table. I love her to death. But this is supposed to be a secret, and it's not.
I was not there when he gave that information. I don't know how we got that information. That was definitely not me, though. So, yeah, why would I get that information?
Yeah. So, you look great. I don't know if you've been getting rest or not, but it's good seeing you. Yeah.
I froze for a second. Did I?
Maybe. What did you say?
The last thing I heard is, "Did you get sleep?" And I was like, "What's sleep?"
Mood.
Not really, but I never really got any to begin with. I'm actually on my way to Kyoma's. I gotta talk to Felix.
Great. I hate the prick. I'll go with you. He owes you money.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, okay. And she's going to walk several steps in front of him at a little bit of a faster pace.
Hold on. He's going to make a perception check. 2. He's oblivious. Okay. He's just walking. He's just walking behind you. He has no idea this is awkward.
Of course he doesn't. He's a man.
Ouch.
Out of love.
So he walks behind you, and you kind of hear him shouting, like he's trying to have a conversation. So, after this, do you want to get a drink, or you just want to call it?
It depends how this conversation goes with Felix.
Got it.
What have you been up to since you've been up north?
I dropped Mom off. Went back to my fortress. I got invited to a tournament. It was sort of.
A tournament?
Yeah. Someplace below here. Something called a grape upon a bear, Agrippa upon a pear. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. They invited me for this champions tournament, the Champions Cup. Yeah.
When did you become a champion?
It's not me, it's the axe.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm a champion by proxy. Half doesn't have a lot of champions, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I tell you I had a little bit of a run-in with him?
Did you touch the blue rock?
I didn't mean to. I really didn't.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I realize that now. Thank you.
No. But you're okay. That's important.
Second time almost dying, fun things.
Well, that's the one thing that's consistent about you. You're always almost dying, but you're never dead.
Almost. It's a talent, kind of goes hand in hand with my god,
Yeah. So but apparently they have to put the contest on hold because of current geopolitical crises. So when this whole thing is over, there'll be a contest.
And you're going to be in it.
Might as well. Well, the axe will be. I'm just the guy swinging it.
Same.
Yeah.
Who else is in it?
I don't know the entire list. Apparently they're waiting to give the rest of the invitations out for, this whole thing to be over.
So then how are you the lucky one to get an invitation so soon?
They gave it to me 3 months ago, and I've been sitting on it the whole time.
You never were one to get things done?
They say they can grant me any one wish I want. What the hells am I going to wish for?
World peace? I don't know. You got me there.
I'm a mercenary. The day we have world peace, I'm out of a job.
Yeah, but at least then we could, I don't know, be happy, I guess, for once.
You see him, honestly stop and think about it. Yeah, maybe. So, Kioma, what does he owe you?
Nothing. I just have to ask. Me and Felix go way back. I just got to ask him his opinion on something, see if I can get something in exchange. Simple stuff I usually do. Talk my way out of most things.
Okay. So after this awkward conversation, you finally cross a little drawbridge, this massive temple, and the minute you enter, you smell that horribly, delightfully saccharine smell that basically shuts off all your senses, shuts off your sense of time. No windows. You feel like in a few short minutes, you'd be lost here for hours. The minute you walk in, you see Felix Chance himself in his little amazing black and red suit and with his little lapel pin, and he's just looking around, and he turns and he says, "Oh, would you look at that, my favorite little patron. Ah, Shonobus, it's a pleasure to see you. Certainly, this axe embeds in the wall right next to him. Just sticks. And Felix, without just blinking an eye, goes, and I see you have a friend with you at that. Hey, Arian. Great to see you, mate. Please be careful when you're in my temple. I really wouldn't want to get angry at you now, would I?
Felix, always a pleasure. Is there somewhere we can talk privately for a moment?
I mean, sure, probably. I don't think anyone here is really paying attention, so I think we're fine.
Perfect. Let me buy you a drink then.
On the house. And Larian, you missed. And Larian just sits and goes, no, I didn't.
Guy's lucky. I got to give him that. She's going to go over to the bar and then uncork her own bottle of wine and offer it to Felix.
Felix is pouring something, looks at that, dumps it out, and takes whatever it is you're pouring.
Is Larian standing next to us?
Oh, yeah. He is standing behind you, just glowering like a towering shadow.
I'm going to turn to him and be like, hey, can you just give us a second? It's go gamble away like you usually do. Just give us 2 minutes. That's all I need.
He picks up the rest of whatever Felix is pouring, grunts, and walks off.
Turns to Felix. Okay, 2 things. 1, Green War still going on. I assume you know. Apparently he's always watching us. So like, do you have like a little bit of like a lucky charm that can like maybe give us an edge over him or something like that?
First thing, yes, I know he's always watching over you. It's a neat trick. 2, nope, no luck for you. Sorry, luck shop is all closed out.
Is that because it's me or because you're just like not handing out anything?
Hey, take whatever answer you pick as your fancy. It's the answer.
All right. Well, she's gonna take out her drawing and slide it in between her and Felix. Now this, have you seen this before?
Felix is just drinking and casually looks over, sees it, spit takes. You get this piece of filth out here right now, all right? I'm not having none of this whole like demon effigies and some sort of remote artifacts in my place. Look, it's bad enough the rent I have to pay here. I'm not having this crap here.
Slow down. What? I drew this the other day.
Did you?
I drew that, and she points to like the architecture. I didn't draw that though. Ozma.
So Felix looks you in the eye and he goes, listen, there's a few things I know. It's what a devil looks like when I'm licking them in the eye. I've partied with them. They're absolute right bastards. Great dancers. Bastards. That right there, that's an anchor, pure and simple. You may not have been knowing you're making one, but you made one.
What do you mean by an anchor?
It's like a, how to put it, a bookmark.
So how do I get rid of it? Do I just rip up the paper and it's gone?
Simple as Sunday. Rip it up.
All right. Well, I've had this guy on my back for weeks now. Do you have a lucky charm for that to get rid of him? Because I'd rather not have a demon or devil, whatever the heck he is, always looking over my shoulder. Come on, there's got to be some luck you can spare.
You want to do me a favor?
What is it?
All right. So here is what I'll do. I'll take this bookmark. I'll deal with the bastard himself. He knows me. We get along great. House on fire, him and I. But before I do it, I need you to do for me 3 things.
All right. What is it?
All right. So first things first. I need the clothes of a politician in this here city. Any politician, I don't care. I need their full set of clothes. Number 2, I need you to ruin a temple. You can decide how it is. Doesn't really matter. I'm feeling cheeky. And the third thing that I need you to be doing for me. Oh, I need a souvenir of this whole big great war thing. You know, it's really fun and all, but I'm just stuck here in this bloody awesome temple. Kyoma freaking love it, but I need something. I'm getting really antsy. So if you can find me a nice souvenir of an orc, I'd appreciate that.
Do I have anything left from Deb Zebel?
Yes, you have all his notes, but I'll be right back. 1 second.
Sorry, y'all. I'm giving away all my notes.
So you need Loaf and Sempress's clothes.
Exactly. Absolutely. I'm going to sneak into his house and steal everything.
I mean, unless, you know, Rufa wants to visit Master Dominus and
just you only need one set of clothes from him, and I think Rufa could get that for you pretty easy.
He could. Or I could mug Loaf and Sempress. I'm not going to know that you need these things. But we have options for clothes.
Yeah.
So many options.
This guy and ruining temples.
No. I got the temple. I got the temple part. Don't you even worry.
Shionovis has spent time thinking, if I had to ruin a temple, which one would it be? And you have an answer for that. I'm concerned.
Is it the one you're in right now? Because
No, I wouldn't do that. We've already been down that road.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, Sam, I've already made a deal with this avatar once before and almost lost. Or I did lose.
You did lose.
Not fun.
This is good. Thank you, because since you all came here before I got here, I don't know if like the things you're saying are stuff I just don't remember because I'm a goldfish, or if I just wasn't there.
Absolutely valid.
Yeah.
We love Felix Chance. Felix Chance is the one that Ian played in the Ra's rave party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so every time Felix mentions knowing these devils very well, it's because Ian fought them, literally. So, he does make one correction. Felix does say, you know what? I have a better idea. Don't defame some Templar. That's absolutely bollocks. It's old hat. At this point, I'm bored. But what's something else? I want a memorial medallion from the Cultus Bellum. Now, Maristra Bellum has been on and on about some bollocks about war, and quite frankly, I think either she needs to get taken down a peg, or I'd like one because they're just really keen looking, you know? So get one of the warriors' medallions, the memorial medallions, for me.
Oh, man.
It looks so keen, though, on my jacket with my little silver lapel. Oh, it looks so sharp.
All right, but I could just deface a temple and we could just call it a day. Like, I already had someone in mind. Like,
No. I can't look. I know, I get it. You do it to Iodex because he's dried shite, but right now, me boss and him are really starting to hitch it off, and I'm really happy for them. And I really don't want to, sour things with them. So we're just gonna ignore that, right? Koga can take one for the team. He's a chomp. So go to Maristra Bellina and get for me one of those warriors' memorial medallions.
All right, and so you'll take care of this devil for me.
With pleasure and a sharp right hook.
You're gonna have to do one better than that. I'm afraid that's not gonna stop him because he is taking over my entire home. So I don't know if you knew that. I'm gonna assume you do because you seem like you know like a majority of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's come to me nonstop, and I just need to get rid of him.
Yeah. No, I understand entirely. So you do these 3 things for me as a favor, and then I'll work my magic against this bugger.
You got yourself a deal.
I always do. Shake on it to make it official.
Shakes his hand.
He shakes your hand, and then he looks at you, as always. You have about, I'll be polite and give you 2 days to do this, or else I'll be taking something else from you instead.
I can't wait to see what you try to take.
You never will. You always come through. So what's there to worry?
There's so much things to worry about when it comes to you. Larian, let's go.
As you say that, suddenly a leftover bottle goes soaring by you and crashes right next to Felix's head, and you just hear him go, "Damn it, it never hits him."
I'm going to take my bottle of wine, recork it, put it back in my bag, and walk towards the door.
As you leave, you suddenly realize how kind of oppressive that building is. You feel the fresh air. It doesn't reek of like heavy, gross incense. You get nice, cold, fresh breeze. It feels like you've been in like a gross, sweaty apartment building all day long, and you're kind of going out into some nice, fresh night air. And Larry just kind of looks at you. It was nice. Do it again sometime.
Yeah, I could really use that drink, actually.
Oh. You want to go to the public house number 1? Apparently we've got a tab from some drunk people.
Yeah. I'll meet you there. Give me a
right.
second.
Cool. I'll see you there. Okay, we are going to jump quickly to Rufa and Ichi buying real estate.
Sorry. I hope someone came in at this exact moment just to be like, oh, that's what this stream is about.
Oh, it's all romantic RP. Oh, in that case.
Romantic RP and then real estate.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pathfinder Manhattan Edition, where people fall in love and buy fancy 2 rises or high rises in Uptown.
Hey. Rufa's romantic interest is money.
Yes. It's
He romances himself every day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes twice.
sometimes twice. That's beautiful. Really, really just goals.
Oh my God. You know, hey, it is a tale as old as time, and I'm here for it. That being said, so you are both of you are going to look for real estate. Really quick, are you looking for residential or business?
You know what? This time we did some residential. Let's look at some businesses.
Okay, perfect. You kind of go back to that general area that you remember Eastwood being in. Sure enough, you see a Bun Boys out of on Prime branch. You see the Bun Boys themselves are actually there, and they're doing their job. They're making the buns. You do see there's a bunch of stalls that have been vacated. They have a little sign up that says basically for sale by owner, can no longer afford.
Okay. Rufa kind of goes over to that stall and looks over that itch. She goes, "This. What do you think? Fenichi? Do you think that perhaps this has potential?"
The Bun Boys?
Yes.
Rufa, are you getting into franchising?
Perhaps. It'll be nice to have some revenue coming in, and retail food places do tend to make some pretty good money. And when you consider, if you look ahead, after the war, people will need to be fed.
You know how I feel about food, right?
True.
I will support you no matter what pastry shop you choose to purchase.
That is what I liked about you, friend Ichi. Yes. Perhaps we should inquire inside. And as Rufus said, he really do truly mean it when after the war, there will be many people who will need to be fed, and it would be good for us to have a easy access to a place to feed them.
I think you're right. Let's go on in and maybe we get some buns while we're there.
But yes, let us see. So I guess Rufa and Ichi goes into the shop to inquire about the for sale sign.
Okay. It looks gutted.
Ooh.
There is no sign of anything left in there. There is a little note that says, if interested, please contact the Bureau of Business and Real Estate.
Ooh, it looks like if we do purchase this business, we will have to start from the ground up, Planichi.
Rufa, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen.
It is. It is.
We have a responsibility to these people to bring the buns back to their neighborhood. How could the world is cruel?
I want to make a quick just clarification here. Bun Boys is fine. It's all the other businesses that are gone.
Oh, I thought the bun place was.
Oh yeah, same here. Same here.
No. Buns Boys is good. Bun Boys is good. But you are noticing that aside
Coffee
from
shop?
Isuo, they have actually started to expand a little bit into the one shop next to them. So they have Bun Boys, and Quick Coffee. And the sign says, try the Ichi Latte today. But aside from the coffee add-on to the Bun Boys, every other business is gutted on this
Got
road.
it. So what kind of business are we standing in front of right now? Like tacos? No, wait. What do they have in Out on Prime? Heroes?
It would probably be more like assorted meats on a stick, some like meat pies, but it's hard to tell at this point because aside from like maybe a few, like a kitchen in the back, you could argue is a kitchen in the back. It's dark, it's dusty, cobwebs. It looks like someone hasn't been in there for at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Got it. So retcon what Ichi said to be about shish kebab, and then we may proceed.
Okay. Could Rufo kind of just look around and especially try to see if there's like a green grocers like type of market type of business if there's one.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That is, why did I close that? That is 17.
17. As you look for a market with more like produce and stuff, you notice that you see a very familiar, tall, handsome man wearing politician clothes with a nice vest. He has a coffee in one hand and a pastry in the other, and he kind of eats it, drinks the coffee, looks around kind of sad, and looks at you and goes,
Oh, hello there.
Master Rufa, it's an absolute pleasure to see you. Oh, it's been forever since I saw you. It's good to see you. You look fit. You look well traveled.
It is good to see you too, friend. It is good to see you. It's been a while. God, have you seen the state of the affairs of this area nowadays? Rufus just kind of just keep going on, try to remember who this person is.
Yeah, I thought so.
AKA me at a convention.
He eventually, hold on. Yeah, it's a critical 20. He picks up that you don't know who he is, and he kind of puts his pastry in his coffee hand and puts a hand on your shoulders. And he says, "Friend, it's okay. It is I, Master Dominus. Remember, we shared a rendezvous together."
Yes. I know. Yes, it has been a while. We have. Oh, this is Rufus' friend Ichi. We just got back from Asmakan.
Oh, lovely. You see this big, like, very in shape, but definitely a politician, young, like middle-aged, like a 35-year-old man. And he immediately sends a hand to you and goes, Mr. Ichi, it is an absolute pleasure to see you today.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah, we just got back from my home. Just defeated like the avatar of like an eldritch god in ringed combat. But now we're looking for a franchise.
An eldritch god. What is an eldritch god? Is that like Azimuth?
Actually, I kind of don't want to talk about it.
It is
I just realized
an unpleasant situation. But Ichi is a very big deal, and she did win her fight and her honor and all that fun stuff. But now as she said, we are here, we have returned, and as you know, the war is looming.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking now towards the future, because as we all know, after these war things, we need to fix infrastructure, and there are people who need to be paid, and there are people who need to be fed. So we think perhaps we could help that if we could perhaps stimulate the economy here at Upon Prime.
You see a light go off in what was previously a very dour expression on Master Dominus's face. as they kind of start saying, yes, it is absolutely necessary. Unfortunately, at this point in time, if this war is to win, there may be no out of on prime to celebrate.
Exactly. But also, as they say, a army does march on its stomach, and we do need to feed our troops. So
Yes.
perhaps if we have maybe a private business that owns some food places, it could work together with the local government, perhaps, and one hand washes the other.
Of course. I don't know if you've been able to recognize my friend, Master Rufa, but like you said, an army marches on its stomach. A civilization lives on its civilians, not its politicians. And as you can tell, the food isn't here for either. The businesses have been almost all but scuttled. The people are very poor and very hungry. I've been working around the clock with the Progressive Party to make sure that we can do something about it, but I still have 3 big problems that I need to solve, or else this war would just be a meaningless, violent kerfuffle.
Yes, true. Perhaps maybe an investment in protection to the local producers of the raw materials, like the farmers, those who work the fields and bring in the produce or raises the animal stock.
Sure. Allow me to be very blunt with you. And they essentially tell you that they have 3 problems for Alphon Prime's civilian people. These 3 problems, effectively speaking, are number 1. So I can find my notes here. 1 second. There we go. So the first problem is that there's not enough jobs. There's really not any jobs in the local economy. Secondly, there needs to be a whole new guards, as almost all the entire previous guards were conscripted to form the army that they need to stop the thousands of orcs from invading Alphon Prime that was originally mentioned back in like episode 13. And last but not least, the food and education needs to be redistributed to the people, because all the money is going into the war efforts. The social programs are failing, and a lot of those markets and farmers are now basically closing borders and hoarding their food so they can survive the war. And Dominus, head of the Progressive Party, is trying to find a way to create social programs to solve 3 different problems with the local citizenry as the army is getting ready to fight off a massive war.
All right. Rufa's gonna look over to Itchy and goes, "So, friend Itchy, hey, Rufa does have a question for you. When you think of where you get your food from and where the manufacturers of your edibles come from, what do you think is the supply chain of that?"
Supply chain. That was an advanced class in when I went to school that I did not take. But I think when I think of food, I'll be honest, Rufa. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about how food is made, how things get on my plate. I don't really know. But sometimes I feel guilty, like I should find a god to pray to thank them for all the food that I eat, because buns, what? How do they exist? Who invented them? Who do I thank for that? Just the bun boys? Can I worship the bun boys? Is there a champion of the bun boys? Should I do that, Rufa? What do you think?
I mean, Rufa means that perhaps, yes, perhaps they could be. They could be. And perhaps if you want, you could become the champion of the bun boys.
Sorry, I know that was a very serious business question. I'm probably the wrong person to answer that.
That is fine. That is fine. But that does that is interesting. So you would say that perhaps work with the local clergy, with the farmers, perhaps maybe something. Maybe we could bring Lona into this. But honestly, he looks over to Dominus. So, question: those that you have are being drafted or recruited into your army, age-wise, what would you say it is range of?
Legal fighting age for Adolphon Prime. About
Which is?
I'd say youngest 16, oldest 35. But listen, I think that the military effort is being solved by its own. These three issues currently require some grace and wisdom. And I can say, as for the church, that may have to be hands off for a while. I've instructed Lofen Sempris to do something about the pilgrims and the priests, and of course, the good senator is not pulling their weight sufficiently.
You say that the limit is 35.
Mhm.
What about those who have retired from military work?
As long as they're fit to fight and they're within the fighting age, I don't see any problem with it.
Would you say there are a number of those who have perhaps retired from military work that we could perhaps look to? Because if we work with these very wise and very experienced statesmen, perhaps we could have them work and teach those who are who are under 16 to and teach them future skills.
I tell you what, I have to go to my office to do some more preparations for the next senator meeting. Please bring your friends and come together. I'd like to bring these three questions to their attention as well. But I love where your brains are. Please, in the meantime, I'm very, very sorry.
Yes. You're a very busy man. You have Rufa understands.
Yes.
Rufa understands.
Absolutely. And I look forward to your creative solutions. In the meantime, please give what you can. The people here are quite hungry and quite poor.
True.
For now, everything is always a tip. I bid you good day. And Master Dominus kind of like scarfs down his bun and finishes his Ichilada and goes off. Ichilate, sorry. Ichilada is I think the rum drink.
I was like, wait. I was like, wait, PJ. Did you just introduce something and not tell me?
No, well, I think it's what established Ichilada as a thing, but it's not the Ichilate.
See, I thought you were saying enchilada, but with Ichi, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my.
They're a shape of her. They're like the shape of her axes.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. I know, right? I think we have to have an enchilada or an ichilada happen. So we're gonna cut back to Alona really quickly, being in the Righteous Mile with Loaf and Sempris as he is doing that thing where he's trying to not be seen looking at you.
You're mute.
You're muted, Sidney.
Oops. She's gonna walk right up to Lofen and ask him how he's been.
Hello. It's a pleasure to see you. I'm tremendous. It's a pleasure. How can I help you?
Well, no, I just wanted to ask you how Adolphon Prime has been since we left. It's been quite a long time since we've been back here, and I wanted to hear how are the people doing? How are you doing?
I can honestly say it has not been a pleasant experience in the slightest. No, between Master Dominus constantly trying to solve all the world's problems, Magistrate Belena constantly stressed out of her mind because of the war effort. I've been getting lots of reports for a gentleman that I'd rather not say, but you know very well. And I've been stressed out of my balding gourd.
Well, I'm sorry that gentleman that I know very well is not here at the moment, but I have a question for you.
Yes?
What do you know about this war in general? Do you know everything we've told you? Or do you know a little bit extra? Since you were one of the ones inside.
I know that I have reports for a gentleman, and right now I'm just trying to figure out a way to protect all the priests and pilgrims because this is an open air stretch of church, and any siege weapons will completely kill anyone inside of it.
So you're here to spectate the area and try and figure out how to keep these temples from getting hurt?
Well, the temples, well, the temples probably not, but the people, the people are who I've been uh, ordered to protect.
Well, have you thought about asking the gods for help?
My dear, I'm afraid I don't believe that the gods will have practical answers in my time of need. Maybe they do, but they haven't answered a single prayer yet.
Well, do you actually revere them, or do you just ask for things that you want?
I mean, well, of course, I don't bloody revere them. I'm a politician.
Oh, gee, I wonder why your prayers haven't been working. This is a mystery to me. I'm a little bit lost.
I don't know where else to put these people. If they have any needs for prayer or worship, and a giant spear comes out of the sky, well, then it's holy skewer time, and I can't stop them.
Well, why don't you create, well, with what resources? How hard would it be to move the people?
I suppose it's not a matter of how hard it would be to move them, it's just a matter of where.
Well, I suppose you know this city better than I do. Is there another place that has more coverage that we could possibly move some of these temples?
The only place I can think of that has not been taken at all by the war effort is the Fortune Temple. Bloody hells, it's just a cute little money grab casino, but according to the documents, it's a church.
Kiyoma's temple.
Yes, Kiyama.
You don't, so that's the only one that's open at the moment? How many people are here and that worship here every day?
From the people that actually live in Adolphone, I'd say hundreds. But the people that come here from all over the world to go to this righteous mile on some sort of pilgrimage could be 500 to 1,000, depending on the seasons or the holidays.
But no one actually lives here. Everyone just visits, right?
Yeah, the righteous mile, yes. We have people that live here. They go to the universities and they come here to study. But it's most of the profit from this place comes from tourism.
Is there an alarm system you can set up where if there's a siege coming or if there's war happening that you can warn people to get out of the area in time?
I think the only system we could possibly put in place would be the thousands of soldiers we've recruited and trained.
But those won't necessarily be around when something goes down.
No, Magistrate Bellina has been very curt about that fact.
When you pray, who do you pray to?
Some days it's anyone who will listen. Other days, it's Iodex for guidance.
Iodex.
Oh, he's got some good ideas.
Well, I believe you. I wasn't expecting that. When you talk to him, how do you do it? What do you say? Are you respectful? Are you colloquial? How do you ask for things?
Well, what I do is I take a very large book. It's one of the many holy books of Iodex. And I close my eyes and I start flipping a page just in ad infinitum. And then I ask him and I talk to him what my problem is, and I hover a finger and then I just put it down. And wherever it lands, that's the answer.
Where'd you learn that?
I was taught it when I was a child, and it's familiar.
Well, let's go there right now.
To Temple of Idex or to the casino?
The Temple of Idex.
Oh, the university. Okay. Sure. Lead the way. I would imagine by your presence, this means that there's a certain gentleman in this town that I should probably go speak to as well. Yes.
Eventually.
Okay.
But you're my friend right now.
Yes. What a good friend that we are.
Off to the Temple of Idex.
All right, so you guys go to the Temple of Iudex. So if I recall, we have Master Dominus telling you there's 3 very important problems. That is destroying the civilianry of this city. Shionibus has made another deal with Kioma to help break a anchor that has been kind of tricked upon her. And Alona is going to the Temple of Iudex with Lofen Sempris. Okay. Well, when we come back in 5 minutes, we will pick up with this, as well as some other things to maybe see where the next step is for the Green War. We'll come back in 5 minutes, 9:41, and I'll see you then. Hey, good to see you. Welcome back to the second half of Edge of Legend. Thank you for the break. And we are having a great time in Adolphon Prime, learning about all the great and wonderful and terrible things happening here. If you don't remember, we were first here, I think, back in episode 9, all the way to episode 14, just before the Green War truly kicked off. It's been a while since we've been back. And we're finding out that things aren't as great as we had hoped. The people are poor because of the war effort. And everyone is struggling to figure out what to do when the orc army potentially invades. So we are going to start off with going back to Shionibus and Larian, who are getting a drink in public house number 1 after basically making a 2-day or whatever happens deal with the avatar of the god of luck and fortune.
Make a deal, get a drink.
The usual stuff. This is on brand for Shionibus. Let's be real. I'm going to sit on one of the stools, look at Larian and be like, this isn't weird, I promise. Take out the notebook and let's write in it. Because now I just want to see what happens.
Okay. All right. Do you want him to write in it as well, or are you just writing yourself?
I'm going to write it in it to begin, first, and then we're going to see where it goes, and we'll see if he writes anything.
Okay. What do you write in the book?
We're nice and simple. Hello. And ... see if it even responds.
A few minutes pass, and you get the feeling nothing really comes up in the book.
Why? How did you end up with Ravon instead of Ra? Oh no.
You start looking at the paper. You wait for it. You looking for an answer. There's no response. You kind of dissociate a bit in frustration and depression until suddenly you can hear Larian just going, something on fire. You look and the page is ablaze in flame.
I'm going to quickly scoop, physically move myself away from the bar and just look at Larian, look at the book, look at Larian, look at the book. Close. I'm going to take out my scimitar and close the book, hoping that the flames go out.
You close the book and it's You see like a nice little thick smoke kind of leave the book as the fire is snuffed out.
If I reopen it, is anything there?
Are you opening the book?
Yeah.
All right. You open the book. The page that you wrote on is blank.
Of course it's blank. Of course. I'm going to rewrite it again.
Okay. What do you write?
It's lovely to see you, Ravon. I'll be there soon.
After a few minutes of waiting, what languages do you speak?
That is a very good question. Orc, Common, and Elf.
Or Common and Elf. You see a scrawling in a language you can't understand, but you do see it starting to just scratch on the paper like a quill is just drawing, more like dragging ink in this heavy, heavy text in this very tight and chaotic script across in this massive line. And it just appears on your paper.
She's going to move it over to Larian. Can you read that?
No.
I'm going to get a separate piece of paper and copy it
Mm-hmm.
in case it disappears like everything else.
Give me a willpower check.
Oh,
Save.
no.
Give me a willpower save. Sorry.
Let's pick a new dice because these haven't been treating me nice. 24.
24. Okay. You're writing this out. Suddenly, as you're writing, your hand seems to be moving faster than your head can keep up with. Just moving and moving and moving. And you start feeling intense mania and anxiety as it's almost like your body is no longer in control of the writing. And just as you feel this sudden rage, like when someone just gets you on the wrong day, you just kind of like, you slam your hand down on your wrist and you just kind of catch your breath and it stops.
That was weird. That was real weird. She's gonna like, ow. I need to come clean to you.
You're pregnant. Oh my God, no.
God, no. God, no.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I mean, like, I don't know whose it is because we have, I mean, it's been, I'm
not focus on topic.
focusing. Yeah, on topic.
I'm not from here. I think we've discussed that before.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
Yeah. I'm trying to get home before God takes over my home.
You told me a little bit about your gods. They already are home.
No. This is Ravon is taking over my home. And if I don't give him what he wants, which is me, he's going to destroy absolutely everything. And I don't know what to do. And I'm kind of freaking out right now because he took the first one I ever loved, and I don't know what to do anymore, Larry, and I'm kind of freaking out, and I don't know.
What do you feel like you want?
I don't know what I've wanted for a long time.
You want to know what we have in common?
Besides our anger issues?
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. And we're going to ignore the breathtaking family issues, too. The one thing that I see when I look at you about myself is that we don't know what we need, but we need it. And if we just knew what the hell it was, we could take it. Ain't no one in the world that could stop us from doing that. So I tell you what. When that day comes, you know what it is. You call Ulfgard. We'll take it by force, and we'll take it all.
Wish it was that easy.
Yeah, me too.
I think I'm gonna go home.
Home.
Home. This is my own battle. This is a war Queen has to do on her own.
No. Do what you gotta do. I recommend you bring your friends with you. I don't know. I know a little bit about this Ravon guy. Sounds like a total asshole.
An understatement. What do you know about him?
Oh man, what did Mom tell me about this guy? His brother killed my dad. Brothers, they don't like each other. Dude's got a chain fetish. Kind of a prick. That's about it.
Yeah, all that seems to track. Did your mom tell you about me?
What about you?
About like real me?
What do you mean, real you?
When you met me, the Platinum Hammer, I was a barmaid. I told you that's all I was. She kind of like looks around to make sure like no one's listening, but at this point doesn't really care. I'm the queen of a nation, Larian.
I'm sorry, what? A queen?
Yeah. I wish I wasn't, but.
Well, okay, why does that matter? You're not there. You're not the queen of Adolfon. You're the queen of not here. Who gives a crap?
That's the nation that Ravon's taking over. That's why I have to go home.
All right, Your Highness. Do you want help? Do you want a mercenary band? I know this one guy. He's great. Does great work. Can't kill him. Always pissed off. Cheap work. I mean, I could put in a good word.
We'll see. We have to deal with this war first before I take on my own.
He looks into his cup. His face always looks like he's angry. So it's hard to tell what feeling he's having right now. But as he looks at his cup, he takes out a big, rough, broad, warm hand and puts it on yours. He wraps his fingers around your hand, these hands that have like been blistered from thousands of years of tying rope in salty seas. He grabs you by your wrist. Without even looking at you, takes your hand up and he just makes a deep kiss on the back of your hand and puts your hand down and pats the kiss on your hand. He goes, "All right, boat sinker, when you're ready, you give me a call."
You'll come running?
Begrudgingly.
I know I could always trust you.
Yeah. This was fun. This is the first drink that I had that didn't have mommy issues attached with it. This is great. We should do this again.
Hopefully we can once this war's over.
In the meantime, he throws a whole bunch of gold coins on the table. Drinks are on, whatever this is. And he gets up and then staggers out of the bar.
I'm going to sit there for a little longer and just look at the blank, or I guess now the scribbled paper.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, no. 21.
You see a Nubian hieroglyphic start to appear. It is the picture of Ra bowing to Hathor.
Can I? Ooh. I'm going to draw or write back Anubis. Is it Anubis is married to Isis, right? Am I going crazy? I'm too stressed, guys.
I'm trying to remember my Egyptian mythology. I want to
Or
say
is it Anubis to Osiris or Isis to Osiris?
Isis to Osiris. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. You draw that back?
I'm going to draw Anubis and Anput.
The next symbol you see drawn is Sekhmet slaughtering Apsis or Apophis, the snake.
Okay. I'm just going to draw Osiris. Just him.
The response is the Horakthi, the combination of Ra and Horus combined.
In Nubian, I'm going to sign my name in Nubian. Like full title, everything.
Okay. You see scribbled in response, I see you, Danger. And it's in Nubian. It's his little nickname for you.
I'm stressed out. I'm going to respond with, if this is you, and this is some trick, I'll see you soon.
In Nubian, the response is look forward to it.
I'm going to close the book.
Okay. And from there, we're going to jump to Rufa and Ichi. You're in the marketplace. Dominus has left. You get some buns and some Ichi lattes or whatever coffee you want from the Bun Boys. Tedwin and Billimer are very happy to see you. They tell you they've been super busy, but they feel bad because a lot of the businesses have just been failing, but like they're really proud and very blessed that theirs keeps going. And they're also like, listen, girl, I saw your match in Asmacon. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love the whole thing. We're gonna have to go there again sometime, especially now that we have a little place down there. Love, honey, love. The orange ones. Yeah, the ones that we got from Agrippa. Can we get those back? You're the best. Anything else we could do for you while you are here?
How are you here? And you were in Asmacon?
Oh,
you
yeah.
were also what?
Oh. Spot of magic. Hold on. Love, yeah. She's asking the questions about how we can be everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to show him. 1 second. And then this big, burly, bald-headed guy comes in. He's like, "Oi, what's the problem?" Then they need to see the thing. Oh, right. 1 second. They go and they get this talisman, and you see it is actually a talisman of Kioma. It's this magical, like, franchise teleporter. They're like, look, every time that we have some place that we set up shop, we can basically just, pop in, Bob's your uncle, get some business and go. We're starting a world global franchise. Eventually we'll be everywhere. It's just going to be smashing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And no one was gonna tell me that you were magical Bun Boys.
Rufa looks over at Ichi. Well, This is the first I've heard of it.
Well, really, we have you all to thank. When we first met you at Cobledale, we had no idea, but with you came all the success. Success with them, we met Isuo, and they love them, by the way. Great spot of tea. They just kind of started popping us all over the place whenever you guys started doing very great. Honestly, it's your love that keeps us going.
Okay. Question, friends. So, you're using this magic ability for your supply chain problems?
No, not supply chain. Mostly just franchise, really. It's up to the franchise to do its own bit of business. I mean, trust me, I can't be everywhere at once.
So how are you doing the bulk of your supplies? Do you have importers, merchants, caravans?
Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, that's a secret. Secondly, again, franchise, we like to leave things up to the local businesses. We like uniformity, but what good is there if every place is the same? True. Yeah, some places have to be unique. Otherwise, there's no point to going across the street to another Bun Boys.
True. But then Rufus going to gesture to the other shuttered out shops around the area. The reason Rufa asked this is because, as you can see, all your other fellow neighbors have shuttered their businesses due to the glowing concerns of the upcoming war. Rufa wishes to know because this is an issue that is very pressing that could perhaps actually affect even your business here, especially here in Etaphon.
Yeah, unfortunately, like we said, it's just been this local franchise. We're not shipping massive cargo across the world. No, we're just setting up franchises wherever they're wanted, and they point to Ichi's kind of heart and they say, wherever you want it, that's where we set up.
True. Rufa, actually, you know what? I feel really bad for using this ability, but I'm gonna.
What?
I'm gonna use my investigator's pointed questions ability to have them try to once again have the answer Rufa's inquiry about supply.
Sure. I think you have to make a roll for that, right?
Yeah.
Let's
see. Just gonna pull it up. It's not bad. Let's see, pointed question. See, diplomacy. Yeah, that's a diplomacy. So that'll be. Oh, I have to add that. I can't do that in my head.
It's okay. What's your math? What are you doing?
It's a 29.
Okay. 29. What skill? It's intimidation or
no diplomacy.
Okay. Yeah, they answer you simply. Again, mate, it's a franchise. Just because we can pop everywhere doesn't mean we're taking tons of dough and sugar and all kinds of supplies everywhere. We're just making sure that people have the ability to start a business.
True. Well, Rufa has to at least attempt to ask because apparently now Rufa and friend Ichi and by proxy, everybody else in our little troop have some tasked with economic issues here now that we are hopefully aiding here in Etaphon.
Sorry, mate. I wish we could help you, but unfortunately, we're busy with business. If you ever want to make another deal, of course, the Ichi lattes are brilliant. There's smashing successes all over the world. Do you know there are people in Oriyasu that like their Ichi lattes with a little bit of ginger on the top? It tastes brilliant. I recommend it. It's so subtle, but it's so good.
I will have to try that. And a smashing success. Yeah. And she holds up her giant weapon.
Cool. Did your weapon get bigger, mate? Love, that thing looks like it could smash a building.
It did. Isuo's the best. My goodness.
Their work, truly, chef's kiss.
Well, friend Ichi, I believe it is time for us to at least check in to see if our friends are. We have to make no, actually retract that. We have to check in on our friend Master Dominus about this pressing issue. But we will be back because we are meeting our friends here. Oh, and Bunbury friends. Little hint. Next time, try a little matcha and just a sprinkle of hazelnut.
I have no bloody idea what matcha is, mate, but I'm going to talk to the Oriyasu branch and see about it, because that sounds, I don't know what that is, but it sounds great.
Green tea powder.
Oh, okay. Green tea powder. They start to write down green tea powder. And apparently there is a Bun Boys in Oriyasu. I did not anticipate that, and now I yes-anded that, and that exists now. Okay.
That is your one your mortal flaw as a DM. As a GM, is you're just so good at yes-anding, you just make more work for yourself.
Oh god, you have no idea. But it's fun though. It's fun. Okay, so really fast. The market district is kind of dead. The Bun Boys and Isuo are basically the only two organizations still working in the market. Where do you want to go next? There's a whole place of Adolphon Prime. You have a little bird in town. You also know Master Dominus has some basically some social programs that need some help. The bar is always open.
Well,
that's about all you know.
Aren't we supposed to be meeting up with the Master Dominus? If not that, then Sam. I'll let Sam decide.
Ichi does not know anything about this place, and she got her bun and her coffee. She's a very simple dwarf.
Ichi, give me a perception check.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Unless we need, like, as Effie Burton said, a quest to fix the school program now.
What'd you get for me?
That is a 19 on the die face, and for some reason I don't have my character sheet open because we haven't smashed anything recently, but I think it's like that's gonna be like a 29. Yep, that's it. Perception.
Okay. So you see
caffeine.
That's why I drink coffee, to see everything. So you take your 29. You see two things. You see a woman in full military regalia, heavy armor, a sword, a massive shield. She seems to be very focused and marching with a small retinue, and kind of a little bit of distance away from them, you see a bunch of other men and women and people with shields and what looks like wooden sticks with like a little crook or a hook in it. They have like on the front of their shield a bunch of like pages. Some of them are like reading books as they speak, and one kind of looks at you, and as they look up, their eyes are nothing but like text and scrawl of a paper, and they're all just kind of looking at you going, "Ma'am," and they just keep walking off.
Rufa, do you know who those people
are? Do I need a roll to see if I know
them? You recognize one individual.
Okay.
You recognize the last time you're in Adolphon Prime, you remember a champion of Iodex who seemed to give you a lot of grief about your emotional support gnome and your emotional support badger, Justicar Ford. You recognize him as he seems to be in the back, just all business and knife hands and bad haircut.
Okay. Oh, Rufa goes, "Oh, yes, Renichi. That is and actually, he does that. You know how parents do this to kids that really annoy the kids? Hello, Justicar Ford. How are you doing? Have you had your bun boys today?"
Justicar Ford is like, reading this big book of law, at this point looks and goes, "Hello, citizen. Yes, I have my bun boys early in the morning before patrol. Nothing gets my day started like sugary carbs and coffee."
Yes, that is good. That is good. Perhaps Rufa could ask you a question that it's a problem that's plaguing the city of Adolphon.
I mean, Besides the grinding poverty, lack of resources and social programs, what can I help with?
In fact, that is the very question we were about to ask. Do you have any ideas to perhaps remedy this?
Well, citizen sir, my forte is in keeping the laws, not social programs.
True, but you must have some idea that if to not only do you protect, but you to and enforce, but to progress and maybe aid the law in this respect. Because if there is no at the front line, then you would be without a job.
I mean, technically, I work for the Platinum Hammer, but I am on loan for. Give me a diplomacy check, Rufo.
All
right. In the meantime, Ichi, give me a religion check if you haven't figured it out already.
Certainly have not figured it out already, and I might not figure it out at all. Well, let's use a hero point.
It's okay. There's probably not much to figure out.
I'm gonna use it anyway.
Okay.
Why not? Oh, that was worse. Okay.
Oh no.
Well, just I forget if it's worse. Do I have to take the second one? I feel like I've never rolled lower on a hero point roll.
I think you have to take the second one.
Yeah. So that's a 10.
Okay. So you can tell by looking at his eyes, which again are just like they look like pieces of paper with written script, and all the holy symbols on this man, that he is a champion. He's actually what the official term is a Justicari, a lawful neutral champion of Iodex, who is the god of law. He doesn't carry any nothing on his body could kill someone. He's got a stick with a hook to subdue, bunch of manacles, and a shield for self-protection, and he's just covered in writs and papers that are just to subdue and to survive and a whole bunch of other things all over. What was that diplomacy check, Michael Powell?
23.
So you mentioned the whole thing about like there may not be an alpha, right? And Justicar Ford looks at you, and the Justicar says, I have been considering extending my Arbiter program. I'm trying to get more champions of Iodex. Unfortunately, as we work for the Platinum Hammer, it's a little limited to the laws that we can do. I'm not looking to go beyond the laws. I just want to make sure there's more local Justicars that can uphold the law. So I have an Arbiter program, Arbiters of the Law of the land.
You know, Rufa perhaps has an idea that might aid you. Well, as we know, we have the youth from ages 16 to 35 are right now conscripted to the army, the troops. But have you thought about those who have retired from military service, who has lived and experienced much experience and wisdom, but are perhaps in retirement now, and maybe, or even those who are unable to battle, those are veterans who are disabled terminally. Have them become your teachers to teach those who are aged from, those 16 and under. Take them in as students.
Oh, that sounds more like a mentorship program.
Exactly. And also these these young folks, they will need jobs as they get older.
Yes.
A future, a plan, a path, as you will.
I suggest presenting that as maybe with other ideas to Master Dominus. He has told me that he is having problems. But what I can do, if you think it works, is I can start my Arbiter program here, take whoever has not gone off to the war effort and train them to be guards. We won't carry any lethal weapons. We'll never use excessive force. We're just here to make sure that the community protects its own community.
Exactly. And especially, at least for now, you can have them trained by protecting the surrounding farms. That way we can have fresh produce and food coming in again.
Don't know about the farms. Again, I just enforce the law.
Well,
but I'll tell you
farming
what.
communities.
Sure, we can protect the farming communities. Tell Master Dominus that the platinum of the Order of the Platinum Hammer has the Grand Justicar on board to try and do some sort of program to train whoever's still here to become guards to make sure the community is safe.
We must think of the children, think of their futures.
Yes. In the meantime, I have to go. I have to give a lesson about the book. Students, remember. Remember, a just law is one that works for the citizenry more than the... Sorry, you're not reading the right books, and you see him just kind of tuttering off to stop these little paladins from doing the wrong thing with the book. Where do you want to go? Specifically, where do you two want to go? You have the Righteous Mile, which is this giant open-air church where every religion, god, whatever, is present. Of course, you have the public number 1 house, which is a place to get drinks. It is a publicly funded bar by the government. You have the Fortune Temple, which is, of course, the Temple of Kioma, the god of luck and fortune, Reed Casino. And you have the Cultus Bellum, the war cult, where currently all the military operations are happening.
Rufa looks over at Itchy and goes, well, but Rufa believes you still have a little time to perhaps sightsee. It's your first time here at the fun. And what else would you want to go to?
Probably just the tavern.
Tavern, yes.
A government-funded tavern, you say?
Yes. There is a very nice tavern. It is Tap House number 1. Perhaps we could get a little bit of drink there, and then we turn back to the bun shop for our friends.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, I guess we're on our way to Tap House number 1.
Okay. Yeah, Rufa and Ichi are on the way to Public House number 1, and you are going to be meeting up with Shionibus there. And we can handle that in a bit. But first, I want to jump back to Ilono. So you're with Loaf and Sempris, and you're going to the Temple of Iodex, which is also the temple to Leifer and Falkland, and the gigantic university in the city of Adelphon Prime. What are you doing there? You are muted, sorry.
Keep doing that tonight. I normally never mute myself, but I figure I scream so much it might be a good idea. Stop. Anyway, is there a library? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming there's a huge, massive library there.
An absolutely epic library. It even has like those little like ladders on wheels that go around this gigantic like circular antechamber of books.
So many books. Alona's gonna gawk and stare in awe for like a hot second, and then she's going to compose herself and go back to her business. She and Loaf and Sempris are going to go up to the clerk and ask if there is a possibility to get historical records.
Loaf and Sempris gives them like a knowing nod, and they go, yes, of course. In the back room. Follow me. They reach and get this gigantic brass ring, fill these massive skeleton keys, and they take you to this vault door. They put one in, and the minute it opens up, you can smell that fragrant, musty smell of old paper. It's kind of sweet, but also a little old, a little dusty. And you see leather boxes the size of a person's chest, and it's just brimming with old parchment, and there's massive tables from a deep painted oak and wood and some lighter pine, and there's these beautiful scented candles throughout the room that kind of give it all an added touch of like lavender and a little ginger smell. Very relaxing, almost like incense constantly burning. And the person looks to you and goes, okay, that will let me know, Master Sempris. Please let me know when you're done with the private records. I will be at the front. And goodbye. And they kind of skitter away.
Secret books. Okay. So Alona's goal here is to find either city plans or historical records of Adelphon that might be helpful in their current situation. Has Adelphon ever fought in a war before? How did they handle it in the past? What resources were used? How can they basically redistribute, the people? So Alona is looking for helpful information in Adelphon's past.
Okay. Give me a Give me a perception check or a society check. Your choice.
Oh. Perception or society? Perception's way better. I'm going with that. I think my society's like a 4. Oh, tits. 17.
Okay, 17. You're looking around. You see record after record after record of all the times a battle broke out between Adelphon and its other countries, the other city states. You see every time Asher or Guts or Methune, anytime there was a battle between people, it's been recorded. You don't see a lot of recorded struggles between non-Adelphon city states. You do see all the times the Knights and Atari quelled these civil strifes, and how often Adelphon Prime worked to create an effective peace treaty as a response to the fighting. But you never see like a foreign party fighting Adelphon, except for like a few reports of foreign interference in Asher and a few aggressions towards the south of Methune.
Okay. Are there any blueprints of the city?
Yeah, massive and many reproductions. You even get them chronologically. The latest one was made maybe about 10, 15 years ago. Not much. The city infrastructure has changed since then.
She's going to take a look at that one and see if there's any space on the map where the Righteous Mile might be temporarily relocated that has more shelter.
Okay. Give me a society check.
Oh, rats. Okay. All right. Nope. That's 10.
Obviously, there's no way to pick up the entire Righteous Mile. It is an outdoor strip of land, but nothing is the exact same size and shape as the Righteous Mile. You are starting to think, though, that another closed-off building is probably better suited. Clearly not the War Cult, but you're getting a vibe that there's got to be a better place, residentially speaking.
What is the size of the temple to Kioma, and what is the size of the temple to Iodex, Leofer, and Falkland?
The Temple of Kioma is pretty large, all things considered. It's about a 4-story building, and it's easily like I'd say it's about half the size of the Luxor.
That means nothing to me. I'm so sorry.
That is valid. That is valid.
Okay.
Let me put this in another way. Okay, this is rough numbers I'm working with here, so apologies if it's not precise. It's, the cathedral in Baltimore, that big one with all the crazy gargoyles on it?
Yes.
It's about that size.
Okay. Is there any empty space or like banquet halls or like event spaces or nooks and crannies?
Public reference for the temple, because it had to be legally drawn out to be considered. You see that there's just tons of square footage on every floor. It's all taken for prayer, but looking at the prayer pews, you can clearly see they are tables, unusually designed, all over the place. You can see that in theory, you could just flip the tables for protection and then just stand in these unusual pits with flipped tables. And you could probably stack about a couple thousand people in the entire building.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to relay this information to Lofen Semprus and say, if you want to help these people and you still want to give them a place where they can pray, look at all of this space. Look at all of these opportunities you have for people to protect themselves. Would it possibly make this place probably a higher target? Perhaps, but you also have people that are praying to gods that are willing to save them here. If you band them all together in one place and you give them literal physical protection, I think that would be the smartest way to get these people out of harm's way in the event that a siege does come to Alifon Prime.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Oh, my diplomacy is not that bad. Come on, dice. Better, way better. 23.
You say this, Lofen adjusts his glasses, runs for the blueprints, and looks at it. Yes. Yes. Why, it's brilliant. Of course, this could absolutely work. And anything who's left over, it'll be such a small margin. Yes, of course. Yes, I will take this blueprint, and I'll take your suggestion, and I will run to Master Dominus now, and I'll make the suggestion. Oh, this will be great. This is one less problem to worry about for the war effort. Oh, bloody hells.
What?
It was a good idea. I'm going to go inform Master Dominus, as he was the one who gave me the task of relocating the priests and the pilgrims. This is a much better solution. Oh my goodness.
I'm glad you think so, but there was quite a big pause there. Do you think that there might be a problem?
I mean, there's always the inevitable runoff. You know, people that can't make it in time, or it's perhaps too filled. Look, we can only work for 90% efficacy here. Maybe there's a 10% margin of error. This is a perfect solution.
I'm very glad you think so. I want to make sure. So you're going to Master Dominus right now. I can always come with you.
Oh, no, don't worry yourself about that. I'm sure you have plenty to do with the war and everything. It's quite all right.
No, actually, I'd like to come with you.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Ilona takes the blueprint back.
Snatched out of his hands, and he goes, If I agree to have your presence, may I take the blueprint back?
No.
Okay, fine. If we go together, may I present our idea to Master Dominus?
Yes.
Smashing. All right. I will take you to him, and we can talk about our idea. All right. So he proceeds to take you to Master Dominus.
I'm just going to say, I think Alona's been spending too much time with Rufa.
She's turning mean like Shionabis. I'm here for it.
It's both of our influence. She's getting the meanest from you and the other stuff from Rufa.
I was just concerned maybe he was gonna take the blueprint to like the orc army, so I'm going with him, so we make sure he's straight as an arrow and not curvy like a snake
or a Rufa.
Or a Rufa.
Rufa.
Rufa's not curvy. He just has angles, because everything is an angle.
Which it's a sharp curve.
Sharp curve. All right, so we're going to cut to the public house number 1, Larry and Voss. You guys get there and see Larry and Voss leaving. I don't think Ichi has met him yet, Correct me if I'm wrong. No. So you get to the public house number 1. The door slams open. You see this like 6'4", 6'6", blonde-haired Viking-looking man with just blue rune tattoos all over his body and elf ears. Not quite full elf ears. Looks a little softened. You know, he's kind of stroking his beard, probably getting the ale out of his beard a little bit.
Hello, friend Lady and Voss. This is our new friend, Nietzsche. She has an axe too.
You have an axe?
And hers is bigger.
Oh, can I see your axe?
No.
Okay. She goes and sits down at a table.
Larry just kind of grabs his axe, like looking at you, and he sees his hands kind of twist into the wood a bit. In the blue, you see Ichi, this blue axe head, as all these runes start coming to life on it, and it glows blue like one of those lantern mushrooms, the ghost lantern mushrooms back home. And he just looks at you as the thing glows blue, and he goes,
But hers is bigger, right?
"Oh, much bigger. You kidding me? It's insanely huge. The damn thing's a jousting weapon."
From the
yes,
table.
hers is bigger.
From the table that Ichi is sitting down at across the room, she says, "I thought you said I couldn't see it."
And he goes, "Shut up." And he walks away. So you're there with Shonibus. A surly half-elf Viking has just left a little into his cups. What do you guys do?
Is this like a private room or is this like public?
It's a good old pub. You know, it's the big government pub. So you guys are all there together. There's a few people there. It's not as busy as it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because not everyone has money during
Yeah.
this time, but you know, you still see like some of the you see the politicians clearly drinking in a public government funded drinking house. You see a few of the other merchants with a bit more money sharing a thing of wine. And of course you see your friend Shonibus.
Yeah, I asked because last time we did have a private room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Rufus gonna kind of try to wave over one of the waitresses or waiters. Do please, do please.
The waiter comes back with 2, and they sit them down. You're sitting next to Shonibus, right?
Can we sit on either side of her with Shonibus like in the middle? Make it that awkward.
I think that's a look of yes. That's a resignation sign of yes. Yeah.
Oh my god. Ichi said, go ahead.
Yes, friend Shonibus, yes. Yes, it's funny that we ran into you here and beside a Lady Voss. So, as the kids say, what's up?
Yeah. I've been hanging out with him a little today. Against my better judgment sometimes.
You know that guy? Well, everyone seems to know that guy except for me. Who is he?
Yeah, he's ex-captain.
It's your ex?
We
No,
met them a while
no.
back.
Ex-captain. He was like he was like head of our mercenary group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yes, and then Alona and Rufa and Woodward met him a little while back, and he was in a river, and then there was a whole thing, and a papoose, and it was a whole thing.
Give me a reflex save, Rufa.
Oh no! Oh no!
Here.
The face.
Wait, why is he doing a reflex save? My camera froze.
It's okay. You'll know in a minute.
27.
27. Okay.
Oh no.
So You're like, there's like this whole thing, a papoose. All of a sudden, the window breaks as Halfson, the Axelarian Voss, breaks through the window, slams into the wall next to your head. And you hear this voice going, "It wasn't a papoose."
Rufa looks over at the axe, looks over at Itchy, and then looks outside and looks back at the axe and back to Itchy. Doesn't say it, but this time he just mouths it. It's going, "It."
Give me a fortitude save.
He didn't say anything.
Give you a fortitude save.
Shionovis is just like smile slightly and just sip on her drink. Not even like looking at anyone, just knowing what happened.
Is that a critical 20 or a 1?
Yeah, critical 20.
Okay. So as you're like, it wasn't like your whisper that you're saying in your mouth, it was a papoose. Suddenly the axe starts
Y'all hear me
glow.
now?
Yes, we hear you, but I think you're frozen. Oh, you're back. You're back. How did they come back? So as you mouth that it was a papoose, right? The Halfson starts to glow blue, and you start seeing this like kind of blue haze come over Rufa. It's trying to drain the water out of you, but you're able to fight it off. You're at enfeebled 1, but you're not dehydrated. As the axe tries to draw something, and as it does this, you suddenly see this image in your head. And you see what appears to be this warrior underwater, deep underwater. And he's just like carrying 2 tridents. And he's just covered in fish scales, gills, fin. And as he opens his mouth, you see rows of shark teeth. And his eyes looks at you and he says, "Please, don't make us angry. You wouldn't like us when we're angry. Right now, we're being civil."
In that mindscape thing,
Yeah.
Rufa goes, "That is fine." But then he also adds, Rufa knows, we both know.
It was a sling, not a papoose. And then you're out of the water, and the axe just like magically breaks in the wall and just flies back through the window into the hand of Larian. And you can just hear him grunt as he just trudges off.
Ichi watches all of this, and she looks at Shionovis. She's like, I'm glad you told me he's your ex captain, because I thought like he was kind of hot, but like he seems to have some anger issues.
Yes to all the above.
It's all right. I would never get involved with your ex captain. Whatever.
Just captain.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Anyway, so I'm gonna have a drink. You want one, Shionovis?
Make that 2. Make that 2.
Got it.
All right, you now have 5 bottles around the table, and I don't mean like a little bottle. I mean like a wine bottle. Everyone, give me fortitude saves as you get into your cups.
Would it be possible for Rufa's going to actually water down his drinks?
No.
I would imagine everyone at the table would probably have you drink like.
Yeah, anyway. But he's going to water it down.
All right. Do a fortitude save. Don't worry, you roll so well. I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay.
16.
Okay.
All right.
30.
Ah.
Okay.
23.
Yeah, you're solid, my dude. So you're all drinking. You're having fun. You got a nice like glow about you. Ichi, you feel like you're happier. You don't feel like you've lost equilibrium. You're just having a nice laugh. Rufa, same thing. You feel happier. You're not quite like slurring your words. You're not losing your balance. Shionovis, you've been at this for a while at this point. Yeah, you feel like if a fight were to break out, you'd win. But if someone asked you to walk a straight line, I'd get a little creative. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
PJ, is this one of those places where it's just like, drinks, or do they have like tapas or something like that?
You say tapas?
Nice. Yeah, like tapas, like little bar foods or little snacks and stuff like that, or skewers.
I mean, like gastropub food. They have like mutton, but they don't have tapas. No.
Okay, well, Rufus gonna make sure, just so he's a responsible drinker, so there is gonna be some food that finger foods that we enjoy.
I like that. Okay, so yeah, you're basically getting like you're getting like little cuts of fresh bread, little slices of mutton. You're getting like cubes of cheese. You're basically
A
yeah.
a charcuterie plate.
Yes, you're getting a charcuterie board. I sighed the minute I said because like Michael's gonna say charcuterie. I know he is. But yes, you basically get one of those. And it's really good. It's really good. It's not like fancy, but it's surprisingly filling and surprisingly exactly what you needed. Right. So after a while, do you guys want to do anything else? You want to leave the bar?
I think Ichi's just talking to Shionobis, and she's just telling her, she's just really happy. She's telling all these stories, just like, yeah. And so then I told her, she's like, hot girl summer, more like, we're in, it's snowing. What? Like, what does that mean? But it was so much fun. And
right?
my youth. What about you? How have you been? How have you been, Shionobis? How drunk is Shionobis, by the way?
I mean, I don't know. Kylie, you tell me, how drunk would she be if she was having a hard time walking a straight line?
She's definitely have been drinking longer time-wise for the day than Rufa and Ichi. Definitely feeling confident. Like PJ was saying, definitely can win a bar fight per usual. Definitely cannot walk in a straight line. Like fine sitting down, and then as soon as you get up, you go, oh no.
So yeah, Ichi's just like, tell me about you. It's been a long time since we just like had a little chat.
Like me, like from like youth me?
Yeah, like you met my friends and family, and you went to my home. It was, I mean, like, I don't know what you thought about Asmacon. It's it's my home. And Shanti was on.
Repeat
fire.
that one more time. My computer
literally
broke up.
Oh
no,
it's okay. I'm talking really fast. Can you hear me right now?
I think she froze. She froze.
Oh, she's coming back.
Yes, I can hear you now.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, Ichi's just saying.
My Wi-Fi is really hating me.
I'm sorry. Ichi's just saying things like, oh, you saw my hometown. You met Shanti.
You hear me now?
Yes. Oh.
Okay.
You good?
I think I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Oh, and then she froze. That's a cool, like, frozen face, though.
Poor Wi-Fi.
The audio is still coming.
Thank you.
There we go. Kylie, come back. We got you back. All right.
That darn Kaylee came back. Quick, Sam, before I cut out.
She's just asking you, like, oh, you met my hometown. You saw my friends. Like, what's yours like?
Well, I grew up in Nubia, from one of the last elven trees before it got burned down. Life was pretty simple. I didn't do a whole lot. I was part of the court. Like, I helped with the court, but I wasn't part of the court.
The royal?
Yeah, what they do is they take a lot of kids from the village and train them. And I was one of those kids. So I would just spend a lot of time in court.
That's cool.
Right? It was a lot of fun. That's where I actually learned to be an archer. And then I was taught scimitar and daggers and all that. So it was fun.
PJ, does Asmacon have a monarchy or a what?
Yeah, you know that North Osmacon definitely has a monarchy.
Oh, North Osmacon does.
Yeah, South Osmacon is basically kind of a self-contained mayoralship / commune, but North Osmacon definitely massive monarchy.
Ichi just says, royalty is so interesting. We didn't really have it in South Asmacon, so it was kind of watching like a ways away those other folks that are kind of like us who had their royalty, you know, it's like I don't know why I should be interested in what like who the prince is marrying today, but you read it in the tabloids all the time and it's kind of like a guilty pleasure, you know what I mean? It just seems like so much drama.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of just you don't want to hang out with like these like stuck up people all the time and knowing who's marrying who or who's sleeping with who. It just gets really boring and it's the same thing just over and over again. So like it's nothing like too exciting, you know.
But I bet you had all the tea, right?
Yeah, you know, I did have quite a few like dirt on people, like who the maid was sleeping with.
Tell me one. Just tell me one secret. Tell me one royal secret. Like, I want to know. The future queen was like going to marry some guard, or wanted to marry some guard. What?
But then I like, right? Crazy, right? And then he went off and died, I guess.
What?
I don't really know.
That's like
yeah,
like a book.
Crazy.
You should tell Laura that one, because like that sounds like a book that she would have read. Like a romance novel.
I mean, it's possible she has. Like, you know, she read so many books in that tower. So
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing me your royalty. I'm going to, you want another drink?
Yeah, I'll have another one.
As you guys continue to drink, Ilona, you get the feeling that Loaf and Sempris is starting to send you on a wild goose chase until eventually you guys stand outside the public house number 1, and Loafin says, "If I know Master Dominus, he always comes here sometime around the mid-afternoon for a imbibement to open up his creative process. Let's go in. Let's have a drink."
Sure. I guess.
Of course. Let's go. And he starts kind of scuttering up the stairs, opens the door, and the doors kick open wide. He sees Shionibis, Rufa, and Ichi at the table. And you see Loaf and Sempris and Ilona come entering in. Rufa, give me a perception check.
I'm going to use my hero point.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was a 1.
That was a 1. Okay, that's much better. Much better. That is a 22.
You know that look someone has when they recognize you across the convention and they don't want you to know they're at that convention? You know what I mean? That kind of like, that kind of look.
Yeah, Rufa's gonna, like, as soon as their eyes kind of lock, you just see kind of a wolfish smile, like, just, like, slowly spread across Rufa's face, like, kind of a, dare I say, devilish smile.
Yeah, so Lofen Sempris clocks you. You see him. Ilona, Lofen looks to you guys. I will be right back. I have to talk to a mutual friend of ours. I will be
Ilona
right back.
grabs his hand.
At that point, Rufa's gonna call out, "Hello, Lofen. How is Rufa's friend?" And he enunciates the word friends.
He curls his already haunched and just, you know, bent back and goes, "Hello, my dear old friend. I have such news to tell you. You could say it's almost a melodic bird call of songs to sing."
Rufa's gonna, like, at that point, like, as Lopen's speaking, he strides over. So Lopen's kind of flanked on one side with Ilona and the other side with Rufa. And Rufa kind of, you know how you put your arm around somebody? It looks like to everybody else, hey, that's a good friends. But he kind of, holds him close, almost kind of a threatening manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yes, do No, tell us, tell Rufa and Rufa's friends all about it.
So Rufa and Alona don't have to make a perception check at all. You're going to hear this because he's whispering just so that you guys can hear it. Shonibus and Ichi, make a perception check. If you have any bonuses for hearing based perception checks, you can add those to this. Roll those now, and we'll get into what Loaf and Sempris is about to say.
27.
You hear it.
23.
You hear it. You all hear Loaf and Sempris pull out a bunch of papers and say, I have been given information and taken information from the goblins and the orcs. I know a lot of details. Well, as much as they'll let me know. About a certain Legion, a Zanakin, and some little dog named Zaka. So, as it's my job to sing, what song do you want to hear? Zanakin, Zaka, or Legion, my good friend?
Rufa's gonna look over at Alona, and does that kind of he's gonna take his chain whip and morph it into a, what do you call it, a conductor's baton, and offers it to her. Why don't you conduct this symphony, my dear?
Ilona takes it and she puts it under Loaf and Sempris' chin, and she said, start from the very beginning.
Very beginning. Sometime after you left, there was peace for a time. Then I got a missive to go back to the sewers. And there was bloblins everywhere. Hundreds of them. But they were all empty. Except for these letters. That is where this all begins. And that is where we will be ending today's episode of Edge of Legend. When we come back next episode, Loaf and Sempris is going to sing us a little song about Zanakin, Zaka, Legion, and all of the affairs that has been affecting Adolfon Prime in the sewers and the Green Army. When we come back, we'll see which direction these heroes choose to go to save the war and what choices they make to save Adolfon Prime. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Episode 52 was a lot of fun, a lot of great role play, a lot of fun heartbreak. And let us say goodbye and a little intro, starting, of course, with Mr. Michael Powell. Tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, as always, I am the dastardly dashing, and emphasis on the dastardly part, Michael Powell. And you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow, that's MRKAPAO, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff like my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And on Thursdays, I'm on Twitch via the Toyzilla Network channel for Toyzilla Live. And yeah, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a lot of stuff. We actually have a really big and cool announcement. So yeah, hope to see you there.
All right, next up, Sidney, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, my name is Sidney Rubino. You can find me all over the internet at Sidney Rubino. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I also have a YouTube channel where I read myths, fairy tales, and lore every Tuesday, except this Tuesday, because I took a break and I didn't say anything about it. But I took a break because I went to a real library on Monday, and that's when I film. I film over there. Right now I'm actually reading through The Wind of the Willows Toad's Adventures. So if you like being read to and you like discussing lots of just beautiful literary things, come visit me on my channel.
Awesome. Next up, Sam. Sam, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, hello. I'm Sam Sterling, and you can find me everywhere at Hey Sam Sterling. Right now, Twitter, TikTok. I haven't updated that in a while, but we all go through phases. But thank you for coming, everyone, and I love you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kylie, great to have you back. Please tell me, who are you and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet?
Oh, I don't. Can y'all hear me? I don't even know anymore.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Cool. I'm Kylie, or I go by Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. I'm going to do this as fast as I can to keep my internet up. You can find me at Kai's Wonderful Life pretty much everywhere, all over the internet, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good jazz. This weekend, I am at the Bristol Renaissance Fair in Wisconsin. If you want to come out and hang out with me, it's going to be a smashing good time. I will be there both Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be my first run fair in the past 2 years since COVID hit, and I'm real excited. I am also a part of 2 different D&D campaigns. One is an all-women's campaign that we play on Mondays at Dragons Dreamers, right here on Twitch, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a whole lot of fun. We're currently doing behind-the-scenes stuff. PJ, speaking of behind-the-scenes stuff, remind me to message you. On Sundays, I am also in a D&D campaign right here on Twitch called Asgard's D&D Adventures, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've just lost one of our characters. It's a real sad moment. We came up with a new one. He's emotionless. My character doesn't quite know how she feels about it yet. Come join our chaotic group. It's a whole lot of fun. We're a bunch of villains trying to make it in a goody two-shoe world. It's great. Come hang out. Yeah.
I love it. Sounds awesome. I'll make sure to shoot you a message. Looking forward to that, whatever it could be. Hi, everyone. I guess last up is me. My name is PJ Megaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.megaw. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Come find me. Come friend me. Let's have fun. I've also been kind of running low and slow in my TikTok because I have been busy and I have been sleepy. But here I am back as again, I live for this show, so I'm so thankful to everyone that showed up. When I'm here Wednesdays, you can find me, Mr. Michael Powell, at the table, talking TTRPG books and Paizo products, as all the kind of cool, fun stuff, what to build, what to make. And I think that is it for now. When we have new and exciting things to announce, we'll let you know. We had Jasper's Game Day last weekend. Reap Psyche was there. It was dope. It's a highlight of my Sunday morning, and hopefully we can show you guys the VOD when that time comes. Until then, we look forward to seeing you same Nat time, same Nat channel here at your Legends, you beautiful Legends, you. I'm going to get the raid going, and I'm going to spell this one right because I can copy and paste like a mother trucker. Yeah, I copy and pasted right. We're going to be raiding Wyndric, Wyndric. I think they're going to be doing some game stuff. So until then, I love you. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye. Rating in 3, 2, 1.